right, we are here for another episode of Bootcasting with Vivek and Romy. I'm your host Vivek, and I have Romy with me again over here. But today we have somebody who's bought a business, who came in, acquired a business, and is crushing it. So, Clayton, welcome to the show.
Hey, appreciate it, Vec, and appreciate the word of confidence of crushing it. I think we're doing pretty well, but I never know the definition of crushing it, but I'll take it.
Well, crushing it is when you wake up in the morning and you're like, dude, fucking, it's awesome. That's it. That's all it has to say. It's a pretty, I mean, to me, it's a pretty abstract statement. That's that. Romy, what do you think? What's your definition of crushing
I
it?
mean, look, crushing there's so many definitions, as Clayton says. But, Clayton, you guys have been growing at a crazy CAGR for the last 3 years. And from what I know, and I may not know everything, you guys have been growing even during this pandemic. What's the secret there, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the funny thing about crushing it, right? Like you joke about like waking up in the morning and like being like, wow, is this real? Well, I think another part of like crushing it and growing is there's some nights where you don't wake up in the morning because you just slept, you worked straight through. So I mean, I think it's I mean, I think that we talk about bootstrapping, building business, growing, whatever you're doing, it just takes an insane amount of work. And at least from my experience, I haven't found a formula where it just like it happens by luck or by chance. Like it comes with a grind. So Vivek, like you mentioned, we bought business 4 years ago. We're on a great growth trajectory and a lot of things working in our favor, but it's come through, pain and long nights and long weeks and a lot of staffing changes and infrastructure and technology changes and missteps and backups and go forwards. And like, it's certainly not like a straight path to crushing it. But when you start to, you go through enough changes and challenges, at least for me recently, been able to kind of find that tailwind and find that momentum.
Awesome. So, Clinton, when I think about HousingWire in general, and then, a bunch of your other products, including the wonderful physical magazine, I really think about you as sort of, if not the leading company, a leading company in the housing space, right? In the real estate space. And, everyone knows that as goes real estate, so goes the economy in general. It's a bellwether. How do you hold that position of that mantle? I mean, the responsibility of running a media company whose opinion and whose work affects big markets. Tell me about the responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, the responsibility is really large. And I mean, as kind of backing up a little bit to like the leading position, when you like kind of look back in hindsight, we got some big things working in our favor. One of the biggest is that the company was founded in 2008. So we are a digital business. You joked about my background. This is not a virtual background. This is actually our newsroom. You'll notice nobody's in it right now because they're all remote and they're distributed throughout the country, and we're running at full steam. And I think that's like a big differentiator. And just a advantage we have working for us is being a digital business. We didn't come into this with a legacy technical debt or revenue line or business unit debt. Like we came into this with a nimble, agile business that can adapt to the needs of our audience and our clients, and now a pandemic and economic and social unrest. Like we're nimble. We can move through this stuff. So as you think about how do we apply that to the ecosystem we cover, the housing, the mortgage, real estate world, it's an industry that much like media, much like technology, has to be nimble and has to be adept and ready for changes that come down because interest rates are moving or demographics are working in our favor or not in our favor, or housing demand shifts because of generational situations, or people need a home office, or whatever the case is. Like the business changes quickly, and in some ways it hasn't changed quick enough in terms of technology adoption, and in other ways it's moving quickly and adapting to consumer and economic demand. So we think of ourselves as needing to kind of reflect the reflect the industry in a certain way. Like if we're nimble and we're quick and we're adaptive, we hope our audience can match that culture and be quick and nimble and adaptive to serve the overall economy. Ultimately, housing is one of the biggest sectors in the U.S. And I think your statement on as goes housing, as goes the economy is a great assessment. And especially as we look at where we are in Q2, Q3 now, 2020, housing really has an opportunity to be a sector that leads the overall economy out of a recession, or at least provides a baseline of strength inside of our U.S. economic overall situation here. And when you look at the mortgage industry, the industry has been relatively blessed with low rates for the last 3 months, which has driven a lot of volume for purchase as well as refi, which translates to more cash in consumers' pockets when they're able to refi to a lower rate or a different AM schedule. So there's a lot of positive that comes from the strength that the mortgage industry is seeing right now, but also with that a lot of responsibility that lenders have to meet consumer demand and also help sustain a healthy housing economy. We don't want to see another 2008. I don't think we're going to see another 2008. The architecture is very different. The underwriting and risk appetite is very different, but that doesn't mean we can't take our eye off the ball. We have to keep focused on tight underwriting standards and doing what's right for the consumer.
Absolutely. So you talk about agility, nimbleness, digital nativity, right? You're natively digital. So agility, let's talk about that a bit. About how big are you guys people-wise?
We are 32 full-time employees right now.
Okay.
And that's, I guess, 28 or 27 of those team members are in the DFW area, but many have kind of scattered a little bit in the recent year, and we're pretty distributed right now.
Well, so I will admit, when I first got into this industry through the AI approach with Bulgarian, I thought you guys must have had like 300-400 people because you had so much stuff going on. So totally get that. I see on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is now this place we all go to find out what's happening. And for me, it's definitely way more important than Facebook. I'm not even on Facebook. LinkedIn, I can't stand Facebook, just FYI. But LinkedIn, I see you guys are always hiring for new roles. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing. I mean, there are people shedding employees right now. What's your strategy there? I mean, how are you going to keep up hiring at this torrid pace?
Yeah, I mean, we have we're a growing business, cash flow positive. We fund ourselves off of net cash flow, net income. So we're never going to be the venture-backed business that comes in and announces 500 roles hired before the end of the year because we just got our Series A and have a lot of cash to burn. We're funding to meet the growth of our business and also fuel future growth. So we're kind of running two simultaneous strategies. We know we have a core business at HousingWire that we need to continually bring in the best journalists from the business media world. So we're often, almost always, have an eye out for talent in financial and business journalism that we can plug into our model and better cover the mortgage, real estate, and fintech ecosystem. At the same time, we're always looking at new opportunities, whether that's the launch of a newsletter. Like we've launched multiple in the last 3 years of Lending Life for loan originators, Open House for real estate agents, RentWire for multifamily, which didn't work and we killed it. So, not everything works. And now we're working on the launch of a new brand outside of HousingWire, focused entirely on the fintech landscape, and we're hiring around that brand now. So what you'll see from us and what you can expect is a controlled approach to hiring. So we're always recruiting. We're always looking for the best talent, but that'll be a mix of people we need to continue fueling growth in core business, as well as new players that will help us launch and drive growth in new verticals or new products.
I mean, it reminds me so much of Vivek. I mean, it's almost like right out of Vivek's mouth. I mean, he's grown to hundreds of people, again, through the same principle. Vivek, you got to comment on that one.
No, I do have a question, by the way, right? I do have a question. So Clayton, how do you kind of, in your head, so you talked about two things. One is kind of, putting money to fund the current operations and then taking these bets, right? These bets, and you took 3 or 4 bets and obviously one didn't work. is there a ratio that you run with, like 80-20, 90-10, 50-50? Or is there a method to that madness? From my perspective, I'll just quickly say, like, there is no, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a
Yeah.
solution to this problem. I'm morbidly curious about, do you have a model? I don't have, like, I wake up one day and say, fuck, we got to do this, and we kind of do it. But do you have a model in play?
Yeah, no. So I don't have a ratio in play, but we do have a model, and I have an investor group. I have a board of directors. So we look at risk reward. Like we're not going to go throw a 7-figure sum at something that's has a low likelihood of success, but we might be able to put a lower dollar amount into multiple projects and know and be comfortable with the risk reward profile there. Much like technology, media is a kind of in some ways a high margin, like low lift business, and launching
Yep.
new products and
Yep.
verticals. Like we can test things in a very nimble and capital efficient way, especially as we talk about inside of like our core business. So we talk about like the winners and the losers inside of like our new product launches. So like Lending Life, we were very fortunate to be able to partner with a launch partner to get off the ground, gave us the financial resources we needed to bring the product to success, and also provided a ton of value to that marketing partner as they were the 100% share of voice in that product for the first 6 or 12 months. So we've learned tactics of ways to use our own capital and then ways to work with partners to get new products off the ground, which there's pros and cons of that. Sometimes it'd be great just throw all the cash in the world at something and give it a year and see where you are. But we're much more I guess calculated in the efficiency and efficiency of projects. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're
And how often do you guys kind of like think about these new projects? Once a quarter, once a month, once a week, once
so
a year?
What's
So
your name?
Romy has the pleasure of knowing one of my partners in the business, Diego Sanchez, our chief operating officer. Diego and I have a Slack channel that's called the Idea Tornado, and it is like hourly. Like we got like just random ideas going by hourly, and we know when to thumbs down them, thumbs up on what to bring light to, and what to like pretend that we never even gave credence to. But it's we have a creative team across the organization, from our head of sales, Jennifer, who talks to clients all day and hears feedback and hears ideas and needs. Ideas come from our clients and Jennifer. They come from our newsroom and our editorial team. They come from Diego and I, who are kind of scrappy, entrepreneurial, creative types who just want to make things all day long. And so our problem has never been like, where does the next idea come from? It's like, what's the best idea, and what's the best idea for right now? And yeah.
I gotta take a dig here for just a second, Clayton, because you say that Diego's scrappy, but he's from Harvard. How's that possible?
I yeah, you're right. A Harvard guy who was an investment banker. Yeah, like straight up institutionalized.
I think he likes EBITDA. So my hunch is he likes EBITDA. I have a so
Yeah.
but you gave me a great idea, by the way. I'm going to implement it. All good ideas need to be stolen. This idea tornado idea is actually, I love it. So I'm almost institutionalizing the concept of throwing shit at the wall, realistically,
Yeah.
right? In your Slack, kind of the proverbial kind of in your Slack channel. I absolutely love it. So I don't know why we don't do it, but I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal
Hey,
that idea.
Vivek, it's almost like you have an $8 million company that does work in the idea space. Oh,
Wow,
wait, you
no,
do.
no shit.
Idea space. What's wrong with you, man? Come on.
Rob's listening to this and saying,
Yeah.
"What the fuck, Vivek? We are not pitching my product."
Clayton, Clayton, you've got an investment banking background, I know, too, and private equity, and you studied this stuff theoretically and then put it in practice. You can grow your business, and you can grow HousingWire at some percentage, 20, 30%, or you can acquire companies, right? I mean, you can acquire growth. You don't need to sort of divulge anything that's too secretive. But what about acquisitions? Are you going to grow that way? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, we started with we started with HousingWire through an acquisition. So I formed essentially it was just an LLC at the time, HW Media, founder of HW Media, but HousingWire is the core asset. So like HousingWire has been all my operating focus. The business strategy is two pronged. So we have this core business, HousingWire. It's great, it's growing, audience loves us, clients love us, and we have some technology and infrastructure to run it. We can take that infrastructure and apply it to new verticals. So we can do that in that two-pronged strategy, either through organic launch, which we're currently working on with a new fintech brand that will come to light in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So stay tuned. And we can also do that through acquisition by taking what's most likely kind of legacy media assets and scrapping their CMS and ad servers and bringing them on to our system and running them in a similar fashion as we do HousingWire. We are simultaneously working on both of those prongs. So I'm always looking at deals. The challenge is finding the right asset that fits our culture and has the right financial performance. The last 6 months have been really telling. I mean, we were having this conversation a year ago. I think most media operators and acquirers were pretty attracted to the live event space, and that space has a whole different complexion right now. The world has evolved, as do corporate strategy plans and as do acquisition interests. So I think you'll see us much more tightly focused on what actually is the core of our DNA is digital media. We're likely to stay much tighter to that lane as we look at deals and look at launches.
Well, almost the other way. I mean, instead of you being, you acquiring, you might be acquired. I mean, the fact is that you built something incredible, and especially some of these event companies are really looking for, they're looking for digital native businesses that are successful. So I'm guessing you're getting a ton of calls.
Yeah, we definitely have kind of seen an influx in conversations, but the reality is I've never been more energized and excited about building something really freaking big here. And what's really cool about it is for 30 people in North Texas, we have a national impact and impact the biggest sector, one of the biggest sectors in the economy. And that's to be straightforward, that's pretty damn fun. And I think we can do that. We can replicate that in verticals and build out a very focused, but focused media strategy across multiple verticals. So we will get bigger. We will be broader in financial services, but keeping our audiences tight and niche.
Well, we look forward to that launch. I do have one last question for you, right? Which is, I don't want you to tell us what your revenue is, but is it more or less than Dak Prescott's salary?
So one thing, so if Jennifer was on this call with me, she'd laugh and say, Clayton has no damn idea how much Dak Prescott's salary. Literally, if we're at like a cocktail hour or a conference and someone starts talking sports, I'm like, all right, Jennifer, this is you.
This is you.
And,
well, let's just say he breasted the tape at about $40 million a year. So you can.
We're not quite at Dak level yet, but okay, but I don't know his spending habits. We might be higher margin than Dak is.
You may be, and you're just as good a slinger as he is. So hey, this was a lot of fun, Clayton, and more power to you. Can't wait for me and Vivek to actually have you on again to talk about the fintech vertical.
All right, Romy, Vivek, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
You've been amazing.
Bye.